My name is Tom. This is my awesome dog Miles. Welcome to another edition of our van life. After meeting my family in Las Vegas, we headed through Nevada, stopped at the Hoover Dam. It truly is spectacular, and Miles insisted on seeing everything. After this short stop, we continued through Nevada and into Arizona. We arrived just after sunset for our first night at the Grand Canyon. Excitedly, we headed to the canyon to see it in its nightshades. I was awestruck. The canyon is massive, and it's breathtakingly beautiful. After our first experience, it was clear we were going to need to be up at sunrise, exploring all day, and enjoying every sunset at the canyon. It was amazing to be sharing this brand new place with others. It was so nice to share the experience and have people to talk about all the things that we've seen. This nomadic lifestyle leaves me a lot of time on my own. I often wish I had somebody to share the views with and talk about the thoughts that come into and out of my head so quickly. A large portion of trails throughout the canyon don't allow dogs, so Miles and I still had some time to ourselves while everyone else explored. They brought back plenty of pictures of all the places that we couldn't go. If you couldn't tell by the pictures from the Hoover Dam, Miles is fearless and sure-footed. He had no problem walking straight to the edge of the canyon confidently, knowing that he was completely under control. He was a little less confident when it came to jumping over gaps, but that's something that we're working on together. Parts of the North Rim had snow cover. Miles is from Georgia, so he has very little experience with snow. There were very few moments that the Grand Canyon was not captivating, but the snow, mixed with the red rocks and the green scenery, really added a whole nother layer of enjoyment. The canyon itself spans 277 miles. Needless to say, we did a lot of driving. It was awesome to see my van from their perspective. Though we only spent a few days in the canyon, we definitely made the best out of it. We enjoyed every sunset and even a full moon. I think I did a pretty good job capturing my family, and they did an awesome job capturing me and Miles in some pretty awesome places. Miles and I crossed the Colorado River further north, but this was by far the most picturesque. You couldn't turn your head without seeing something beautiful. Like always, pictures don't always do something justice. You've definitely got to see this place for yourself. The end of their vacation came way too quickly, and Miles and I headed out west, chasing the sunset. We headed west through Arizona and finally headed into Southern California. The terrain changed pretty quickly. I drove overnight, so I didn't even notice. But when we got to California, it was evident that we were in a different world. The desert now had ground cover, vegetation I hadn't seen before. There were a few trees, but everything seemed to be covered in green. We wound our way through the canyons and finally made it to our first West Coast sunset. Miles and I found an incredible place to park. I set up my camera and we went for a walk. It seemed like I picked a pretty good place considering how many people stop in front of the vehicle to enjoy the view. From here, Miles and I slowly made our way down the coast, ending up in San Diego. I had been talking to my friend about planning on visiting for months, and finally, I was given the opportunity. Here, the story is going to take another turn. I introduced a drone into my arsenal of photographic weapons. I met with my friend in San Diego, and we started on the next project.